Welcome back, terrestrials. Thanks to the new subscribers. Keep commenting, keep liking the videos. We appreciate it. Thank
Yeah.
you. In this episode, we're doing Smile 2.
Right.
Now, some would say this is a superior sequel. This is one of those cases where the sequel is better than the original. Jerry, what do you grade it?
D,
Oh, interesting.
I
Um,
guess. I mean, I don't know.
I I would
Like,
give it. Did you see the original?
no.
Okay. So I would give this like a C, like a run of the
C?
mill
I'm
C.
going
Yeah,
C.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I mean, if you took this, if you took, so when people are saying it's a superior sequel, that's debatable. I'm
Uh,
not going to get into
it
that
made a
debate.
shit ton of
And
money.
it made a shit ton of money, but I think it made a shit ton of money off the fact that it's number two. Um,
Yeah,
the
it's like Saw
it's
too.
superior in some ways and it's not in
Right.
others. So with this one, the big thing for me is um, the main actor, very good, does a
Okay.
really good job at pretending to be, losing it psychologically.
Hmm.
The screaming, all those things, it's pretty good.
Okay.
The gore is really good.
Yeah.
Um, Very creative, different kills, like
Okay.
the slicing the stomach up to the neck and across. That was cool. That was different. I've seen slice up, I've seen slice cross, but never the combination. I think that they did a little bit of extra. Um, they got a little bit gorier than they did in the first.
As they have to in these types
Naturally,
of movies.
for sure. Um, so the my biggest thing, which well, we'll get to that. Let's keep on. I'm going to keep going with the
Keep
positives real
going
quick.
positive. There you go.
Yeah. So the story feels very It Follows in this one, and it didn't
Yes, it
quite feel
does.
like that in the first one. This one feels like It Follows,
Hmm.
but we're just going to change it to make it something else.
Right.
Um, the I did like the opening, trying to pass it on to somebody and then kill them. The kid had the concept right.
Hmm.
But whatever. But again, even that in the beginning feels I was like, okay, so this is how quickly I trailed off in this movie. In that scene when the kid goes into the trap house and he's
Yeah.
yelling at that guy, like,
Hmm.
don't you die, you fucking piece of shit. I was like, you can't fuck him in enough time to. I thought it was It Follows. Like
That's
it felt so It Follows that I
yeah.
thought I was like, you're not going to be able to fuck him in enough time to give him the STD goes. So
Yeah,
I would much rather watch It Follows than this.
that's what I was
Um,
saying. I was like, oh, so in the 80s we had like Jason ripoffs. Now we
mhm.
have It Follows. Even to like
So
cinematography, I'll
right.
say, is
Hmm.
very like
Similar.
similar.
Yep.
Yeah, there were those styles of like a force that's
Hmm.
unseeable
Hmm.
that is just coming after you.
Right.
And because, like, yeah, I haven't seen the first one, so I'm
Mhm.
going in blind for this movie, and my brain's
Yeah.
going, what? But I was like, no, 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 don't do that, motherfucker. Sit and watch the movie. Sit and
Mm.
watch the movie. I can watch Terminator 2 without watching Terminator 1, and
Yeah.
it kind of builds up. And oh, but they really didn't do that in this movie.
Yeah,
And
they didn't explain number one very much.
yeah,
There was little bits in there,
I
but
guess.
it was like little nods to the first one.
Right.
I would say watch the first one. I know it's going to be hard to get you to do so now, having seen the second one, but the
Oh,
first
yeah.
one I feel is more original. It feels better, and there's not, and yeah, it still feel it still follows the It Follows
Hmm.
uh, chemistry, the that makeup, but it feels like its own thing. It doesn't feel like a direct ripoff. It feels more original. It feels more planned out. This one feels like they needed to do it again, so they just
But
copied.
bigger. They
Yeah,
needed to do it
exactly.
again,
Yeah.
but bigger. You know,
Right,
if
right.
you know.
And
Uh,
we've made fun of It Follows on the channel, but I would much rather watch that. It's a good movie. It's a good horror.
right. Made fun
And
out of it with love,
well, I think
because
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you here on Video Waste. I made fun
yeah,
of it because I thought it was stupid. And then I kept watching it over and over again, and I was like, holy shit, no, I'm stupid.
yeah.
But we're not talking about that when we're talking about this one.
I know.
So
Let's talk about It
um
Follows and
oh,
stuff.
all right.
Man,
So like
the cinematography of It Follows is great.
the first time I watched it, I was like, this is dumb. STD ghost, like, okay, cool
Right.
guy. And then the more I watched it, I was like, no, I'm dumb. This is actually a really good movie, and there's a
Yeah.
lot of layers to it.
Hmm.
I just wasn't paying close enough attention. And I'm sure some arguments could be made for this movie Smile too, that there's layers that I'm missing and I need to rewatch it and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to. I some movies I go back and I watch a couple times to make sure I got it all. And sometimes I'm glad, sometimes I'm not. This one I think I can put to bed. Was it a terrible movie? No, I don't think so. I think it was gory, it was bloody. I think that if this was a all-out slasher, then we would have a different set of grades for it because it works in the idea of slasher because of the brutality. It does
Yeah.
not work in ghost demon possession, not so
World.
much.
Yeah. It also, in my opinion, it works great as a comedy too,
Yeah, it
because
does because it's
um,
stupid.
and I'm not even like, all right, this is my positives, Jacob.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, I
Sorry,
hit.
I hijacked the first half
Okay,
of that. You're
no,
good.
it's fine. I mean,
You
you seem
talk
very
now, Jerry.
passionate. Yeah, let me, I'll go. But when I was watching this movie, I hit like an hour. Like I realized, like I'm like, this movie must be almost done, and I
Mhm,
clicked the button,
mhm.
and I realized I had only been watching for an hour, and there was like this huge chunk
I
after that
did the
hour,
exact same thing.
and my brain goes, "Holy fuck! How much more story is there to tell
Yeah, I
after
did
that
the
hour?"
exact same thing.
Because the big,
She was going home and I was walking her out. I paused it and it was at like an hour and 9 minutes and there was 50 minutes left. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
yeah,
Like I was concerned that I wasn't going to finish this movie. I was like last night, I was like, I gotta come back in here and stay up another 50 minutes
yeah.
at 11 p.m. God damn it. I was mad at how long this movie was.
Oh man, it was so, and but like my brain, because the beginning is so it's slow. Okay, it's a builder. That beginning like is really like showing the I guess the inner torment of her and her pain with her back and
Hmm.
the pressures of the concert and
Hmm.
yada yada yada. And I'm just like, this is boring.
Hmm.
And but then if you watch this and you feel like it's boring, just wait till the mom dies. Because the second that the mother dies, holy shit, I was laughing like a motherfucker for the rest of the movie. I was, I don't know, maybe my brain broke or something, but I just started fucking geeking out at like the little things and shit. Fucking like she pulls that big ass gun from that cop, and I'm like, that seems like a big gun for a police officer. Is that a
No,
Desert Eagle?
nah, it's pretty standard.
Look,
They carry
but
large
in her
guns.
hands, it looked like
Well, yeah, she's
fucking
tiny.
Judge Doom. I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
Judge Doom's fucking gun
yeah,
from
yeah.
where Who Framed Roger Rabbit or something.
Right.
But and then like it eases down. We learn the friend is not
Christopher Lloyd, All Star. Thank you.
yeah. Like the friend in the car and that whole situation goes on. And then she goes and to Taup from House
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and like he freezes her or some shit. And but the second that he freezes or like puts her in that room and shit, comedy gold. Fucking when that demon
Hmm.
crawls out of her and shit,
Yeah.
or her other self, or maybe it's in her
You talking
brain or
about
something.
the end?
Yeah,
Because in the frozen room, herself is on with dark long hair is above her on the ceiling and then
yeah,
falls on her and they like
they
make
kind of
out or whatever.
tussle and
And yeah.
And but then like she's got those huge like CGI at her
Hmm.
eyes and
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
But then they go to the concert and the
Yeah.
concert thing is just fucking
Yeah.
hilarious and
Yeah. That
shit.
was
Fucking
such bad CGI,
and
like such bad care, like
oh,
design. It was
when that
everything.
big red demon rips out of her and shit. I thought it looked really good and gory until they were like, well, what's the demon gonna look like? And then they decided on that image
Hmm.
and I was
Yeah.
just like,
They might
yeah,
as well put fucking googly eyes on that
yeah,
dumbass
fucking.
thing. Like, yeah.
But that was just like, oh, there it is. I read all of these like when I was going through the doll shit in the beginning,
Hmm.
I was like, what percentage on Rotten Tomatoes is this? I never do
85.
this. Yeah, and it's guaranteed fresh. And like, but I never look on Rotten Tomatoes to get other fucking people's opinions and shit,
Mhm.
especially when I'm watching the movie. I don't care about other people's opinions. This is my opinion. I was just like, okay, so this had to have flopped in the box office. Go to check the box office numbers, and it's like, no, it made like triple back its money. And I'm just like,
Yeah, I actually for the first time as
what?
well did I think we had the exact same viewing experience because shortly before I was on my way home from work and I googled it, went to the Reddit, and people were like, this was the scariest movie I've ever seen. And then next person's like, CGI was stupid. I'm like,
Yeah.
there we go, there's a guy that gets it. Like, obviously everybody's gonna have a difference of opinion. I do
Right.
feel like this, if you take this and like the way the camera jolts when they're hitting themselves or cutting themselves or whatever, and that it's like that fast paced, but you can tell it's all CGI.
Hmm.
Uh, it that's that new age horror that I'm not the most in love with. I think it has a nice style when it's done in a certain movie.
Yeah.
I like the gore. I think like the throat slitting and all that stuff and like the mom cutting up
Yeah.
and all that stuff. It looked good. That stuff looked
Yeah.
good. But the little demon puppy that comes out of her at the end, that looked so stupid. And then the googly eyes on the bitch in the freezer, like
Hmm.
they really the mistakes that they made were big
Right.
and I understand that they were trying to tell this all-encompassing story of her struggles with addiction and her back hurts because she's crazy and pulled the truck off the road and all kinds of stuff, and I get it all, but like I feel like they could have done it faster. Now, the
Yeah.
one really, really cool thing that I did like is when she's in her apartment and they must have been dancers,
Yeah, they
but
were
all those
dancers
people
and
moving
mirrors.
towards her, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They were playing the red light, green light.
Yeah.
Like, um, that was cool. That was fun.
Right. Like more
Having
of
them stacked
that.
to the ceiling.
Yeah.
That was creepy. That was good. That
Huh.
was good creep factor. And it was good creep factor without makeup and CGI. Like it was
Hmm.
just people moving, but the way they intertwined and they were everywhere, it was
Yeah.
good. It was good.
It like it tweaks your brain to go, this is not normal,
Hmm.
you know, but this is not normal, but it's off. So therefore it's unusual and it's kind of like it's making me feel uncomfortable
Hmm.
in the not scared realm, but it's just like, oh, I don't like it. It's
Hmm.
making me uncomfortable. I'm not scared, but like I wouldn't like it, you know.
Yeah.
But we need more of that. Like, yeah, you can throw your little gore moments in here and there, your little moments of violence, cool, but give me like these moments that show like her mentally like deteriorating worse and worse
Right.
in these small moments. And then cut the motherfucker down to like an hour 25
Hmm.
tops, maybe hour 30,
Yeah.
hour 45 pushing it. But
Yeah.
like you don't need this didn't need to be as long as fucking the Lord of the Rings or a fucking Marvel movie. It's just like, what are we doing here, guys?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that that's one of the bigger mistakes, the CGI and the length.
The
like how
length.
much they tried to. And at the same time, I can argue like, well, there's a lot of times I see movies and I'm like, well, I'd like to explore that more,
Right.
but they didn't need to. That
Right.
wasn't necessary
It's
here.
subject matter, and it's like, oh wow, I'm enjoying this. I'm really glad. And it's good, and it's filled with so much stuff, but it's not, it has that density in some movies, but this just felt kind of like, what else can we throw in there to make storyline? What else can we, kind of. And you said new horror. I feel like this is still like at the beginning of like 2015, kind of like It Follows.
Yeah,
I'll put
right,
that on the high end of like
for sure.
really good. Fucking it reminded me of like Oculus and the Ouija movies and all of those movies that came out in between like 2015 and like almost like until like almost now, where it still has that, like they're trying to go into new horror, like when we,
Yeah, maybe it's the figuring it out
yeah,
phase.
when we watched The Omen, the
Hmm.
first Omen recently,
Right.
like that I put in like new horror, where they know how to tell a story with the images and the script on screen and kind of give us uneasy comfort, blah blah blah. But this still has that kind of like polished kind of like feel to it. And I don't know, maybe it's just me that I feel kind of like, how we talk about like 2000s yuck, like
Yeah.
this has that kind of yuck to it that's like 2015, like those group of movies that came out where it's like, put it out, maybe it'll make $1. Oh, it did make $1 because we put it out during Halloween time, or it's like the only horror movie right now. And fucking kids are like, it's like a roller coaster ride in the fucking theater. And that's how I was feeling. Like if you would have went to
So
go see this in the theater, it would have been like a roller coaster ride. Like, okay, we're on a slow glide. Okay, some crazy shit's going on.
so I feel like this has I can see where you're coming from, not
Good.
quite for me,
Okay.
but um for me it feels more along the lines of like Evil Dead Rises. Um
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, these movies that are they have like The Nun, they have like certain looks to them,
Yeah.
and like the It Follows, the Oculus, those all predate this.
Okay.
So I, as far in my opinion, obviously, like It Knocks at the Cabin, Cobweb, these movies, I feel like they're more of what I'm talking about
Okay.
specifically. Do you remember the marketing for Smile One?
No.
It was genius. It was like guerrilla marketing.
Yeah.
They were sending people out to like baseball games and stuff in the stands, and they would just stand there and smile.
Right.
For like that was their job. Like, and they would watch the baseball game, they would smile, and then like the camera would like look over at them and see them smiling. Like football games, like anywhere. Um, it was good marketing. And the first one, if you could imagine this one not being so ridiculous, but more of like it had the same camera styles and a little bit of brutality, but it was a more
Right.
basic version of this. It was a
Word.
more true version of
Well, yeah,
this.
that's like you take
Well, yeah, I know.
Saul, like
Right,
the
right,
first
right,
Saul is awesome. And
right,
then you get to like Saul number 25, and
right,
like then it's just
right.
like this is a piece of shit.
Yeah,
Fucking Paranormal Activities. First one, it was kind of cool. It was
yeah,
boring, but it was kind of
yeah,
cool. Then you get to like the 18th one, and it's studio meddling on a good like concept.
yeah,
Like you got a really good idea. And it's spooky.
yeah,
Cool. Leave it the fuck alone. That's why I'm glad like Blair Witch Project 2, Book of Shadows was completely left field.
yeah. Yeah, it was the smart move, and it's a cult in its own right. I love
Right.
that movie.
Like,
I watched it recently and I was like, what the fuck? This movie sucks. And then I was like, but it's awesome, but it sucks. Like I
right.
know it sucks. Objectively, I know it sucks.
Right. It's got that 90s,
Yeah,
like,
oh yeah.
fucking,
This is back when I jammed Marilyn Manson, fell in love with goth girls and witches at the same time from
right.
that movie. And I love Jeffrey Donovan. So it's
Right.
or yeah, yeah,
Sure.
because Burn Notice. So yeah.
Like, I can't hate on this movie for too long, well, because of the idea that, yeah, there's something out there for everybody, you know?
Mhm.
So if you've made it this far and it's like these fucking hacks don't know shit, like, no, 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 I'm not hating on this. It's just not my cup of
Yeah,
tea.
it's not my
And
jam.
I went on Tubi and I watched like a bunch of fucking like bullshit, and I was better. I was better,
Naturally. Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
So, but yeah. Oh,
Yeah, there you
on that note, Jacob,
go.
fucking would you go to the theater and see this movie?
Nah.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, good.
Would you own a physical copy of it?
Nah.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah,
Fucking,
pretty good.
could you see this in a couple of years being a cult classic?
Nah.
Nah, nah. I think in a couple of years, someone will say, "Oh yeah, I love that movie when I was in high school," and it's like, "Oh, cool." Um, so would you recommend this movie to somebody?
No, I think that I will put this out of sight, out of mind. And again, that's no like, intentional dogging of the movie, but it's not my
Right.
thing. And if somebody's like, "Hey, I need something to watch," I'm gonna be like The Dark of the Wicked or The Dark and the Wicked or like Midsummer or like there's other movies that I would recommend. So I'm good.
Right. I think I would recommend it if somebody told me like, like if my daughter was like, I want to watch a scary movie. It's like, oh, Smile 2 just came out. I watched it. You should watch it. I think that kind of like initial,
Mhm.
but I wouldn't go around like fucking The Killing Tree and just tell people to watch it because why not? Everybody deserves that pain in their life. So
Now let me ask you, would you rather watch Killing Tree again or this?
fuck yes, I would so much rather watch Killing Tree.
See,
Fucking
I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I would rather watch this again.
see, by watching The Killing Tree, it feels like I got a merit badge. Okay, I'm one of the 0.0% of people out there that actually sat down and watched this fucking movie and shit.
Well, we are that percentage of
Right.
people, but we
And
don't need to do it twice.
every every time that we watch one of these shitty fucking Tubi movies and stuff, like I feel like we should get a merit badge in the mail or something, and like a certificate from the President of the United States going, "Congratulations, motherfuckers, you wasted an hour and a half on this stupid piece of shit movie. Sign fucking, Joe Schmo or whatever.
Yeah.
Fucking."